Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, please continue to pray for my art career by leaving a dislike on this video. Dislikes bring me a lot of good luck. I'm really excited about this coming week because of an astrological event. This week, Jupiter and Uranus come into conjunction. It happens every 13 and a half years, roughly. And the last time Jupiter and Uranus came into conjunction, something dramatic happened in my life. It was like a new chapter in my life. What had happened was, in the year leading up to Jupiter and Uranus coming into conjunction, I had a huge mess on my hands. I was working on my PhD, and I got lost about certain life matters. So, you gotta understand, I was working with a number of people who were several years my senior. Several of my classmates were married, and some of them had kids. I was a teaching assistant, and most of my students were experimenting with their bodies, if you will, right? So I kind of felt left out. At the time, I had never had a serious relationship. I was still a virgin at the time. And long story short, I got hurt because I was desperate. And unfortunately, if we think about in terms of bismuth, I lost the equivalent of about 10 tons of bismuth getting taken advantage of in the dating world. Kind of unfortunate. There are so many great things I could do with 10 tons of bismuth, even today, right? Let alone all the time that I wasted messing with that. Okay, now on June 13, 2010, just around the time of the conjunction, I was lost because there was a coin show in downtown Rochester, and I didn't have a girl to take to the coin show with me. I'd just gotten out of this bad relationship. During the time of the relationship, I also got very ill. I was eating fish out of Lake Ontario, fish that was contaminated with something that has 3 fewer protons than that stuff right there. And as a result, I got seriously ill. I was also eating a lot of game meat that I had a friend who was a hunter, and he would give me all the game meat that he didn't want. But he was shooting it. I wish he was shooting it with this stuff, but he was shooting it with the evil twin of this metal. It had 1 fewer proton. And so I got very poisoned by both of those metals. And as a result, I got deathly ill. And I was lost, I was ill, I had lost my life savings up until that point. I was living out of my office. They gave me a really nice office. It was kind of like a capsule hotel if you've ever been to Japan. But I lived in there for 15 months, if you can believe it. And then I had this coin show that I didn't know who to take to the coin show. It was a Sunday morning, and I decided to ride my bicycle to the coin show anyway. My car wasn't even working because during the time I was with the girl, I wasn't taking care of my car. And when I got to the coin show, I realized I had the best time of my life. And 13 and a half years later, I still enjoy going out by myself. Actually, this past year, I tried to return to the dating world in large part because, again, the societal pressures. I was really burnt out with my art projects, and then I tuned in to watch the Super Bowl, and there was this high-profile couple on there, and I was like, gee, I wish I had somebody cheering me on every time I poured a touchdown-worthy art piece, right? And I didn't, and so it pressured me to go back into the dating world. 2 weeks ago, I went out to see a solar eclipse, and so during the entire trip, I felt very penalized because I didn't have somebody to drive with, and so every time I got to one of the small towns I wanted to visit, like El Paso, like Arizona, I was exhausted. And I was like, gee, I need to meet somebody to make the drive with, so I got pressured into another date when I got home. But I didn't enjoy either of those dates as much as I enjoy going out by myself. That's kind of unfortunate that we have this societal substrate that forces 2-person relationships. It may not have to be opposite sex anymore, but at least forces 2 people to be together, right? But we got another conjunction coming up. Hopefully after the conjunction I'll resolve some of this, right? I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but last time the conjunction came, great fortunes came to me. That was the beginning of my time with the relationship with myself. I hope this time around I'll finally figure out how to have a relationship with myself and not be penalized so heavily, right? Especially when I go on vacation or when I negotiate workplace issues, right? So for example, now that I'm back at home, I feel heavily penalized that I don't have somebody taking care of the household chores for me and allowing me to focus on my job, right? Hopefully I'll figure that out after this conjunction. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.